Terry Battisti with Bass Fishing Archives. We're standing here with legendary crankbait fisherman David Fritts, and kind of talking about his history with crankbaits in North Carolina and how he got started bass fishing. So, how did that all start?
Well, I don't know. When I was in school, I graduated from school in 1975, and actually I was really interested in bass fishing maybe a couple years before that. And I never, being young, I never knew really how to fish classics. I throw it out there and I'd hit a rock and I think I had a bite. And I never could catch any fish, but I knew I could tie me on a crankbait or something and swam and throw it out there and wind it back and I'd catch fish with it. So I done that for 7 or 8 years before I even ever caught a fish on classic. It's unbelievable that I threw one that long without throwing a classic. But as you do that, you learn more about it. And that's sort of how I got started. I mean, I got the desire to compete, and I'm watching Larry Nixon and Roland Martin and a bunch of the Bill Dance, a bunch of the guys. I'm thinking, you know what, I can do this. And one thing led to another, and I had the opportunity. I started off real low. I started off fishing back then the Redman tournament trail, $50 entry fee, inexpensive.
Team tournaments, or were they draws?
No, it was a draw tournament. And I guess what really got me going is I ended up winning a Redman regional, a Chevrolet truck and a Ranger boat with an Evinrude engine. And man, when I done that was it. I mean, I ended up winning 3 more of those and won 10 of the Redman tournaments. And I started fishing another circuit back at the time. Was the Hungry Fisherman Bass Circuit.
Jerry Ryan.
Yeah, Jerry Ryan's, and ended up winning their classic in 5 of those tournaments.
Wow.
So that's really what got me going. Then I got into bass and won the classic in '93. Started fishing bass part-time in '89 because I just wanted to sort of get in. I didn't have a lot of money, and so anyway, that's sort of what happened.
Yeah, so there's a lot of history with wooden crankbaits in the North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee area. What are some of the bait makers that were around at that time that you were throwing, or was there?
Well, probably the biggest name was Hose.
Yeah.
And we found out Hank Parker had do some of them, and Bagley's was a big thing. I mean, Bagley's was the bait, and I can actually say that's how I started with Bagley's. And then as the years went by, we heard about this other wooden bait that was made out of western cedar, and it was a poach bait. So
yeah, out of Northern California.
Out of California, right. So, excuse me. Anyway, after that, I started getting some of those poach baits, and I'd been drilling out Bagley's and putting weight in them, and I was fishing crankbaits where nobody had ever fished them, because I could make them run 3 or 4 feet deeper, 2 to 3, 4 feet deeper.
Yeah.
And that just made it better. I mean, it's like, man, I was winning or finishing top 5 in almost every tournament I fished doing that. So I sort of carried that into bass and made the classic. And the first time I made the classic, I won it. Then when I went in the next year, then in '97, I ended up winning the Forrest Wood Cup. So anyway, that's sort of how my career has been.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, hey, David, thank you very much.
All right.
And,